A very good morning, everyone. Welcome to StudyIQ English. I apologize for the delay. Owing to some technical glitch, it took me a little late in joining the session. Sorry about that. Very good morning, everyone, and welcome to the class. Welcome to the Hindu newspaper class for 28 February 2026. Now, today is also the last day of the month, and now we are entering March finally. So, the third month for 2026, we are inching closer every day to the upcoming prelims exam. All right. With that, let's quickly have a look at the QR code first. And those students who are still trying to join the community, and as I promised, I shall be updating you on all the PDFs and the pending material very, very soon, possibly by tonight. Okay, now here's the QR code for the Telegram channel. And for today's newspaper discussion, I have some things exciting lined up. So, talking about the articles, we have 6 articles to discuss for UPSC. We shall start with editorial page, that's page number 6, and then proceed with some kind of virtual traveling. Like we will look at Afghanistan Pakistan border, we shall look at Durand line, we shall look into the West Asian area shortly. Plus, we shall also talk about two very important developments from the standpoint of India's defense and military equipment. Apart from that, by the end of the lecture, I would also have a small quiz to discuss with all of you. Yesterday, we enjoyed that quiz a lot. Today, I have got a quiz on places in the news, but I have tried to make it slightly difficult from my side. Okay, so let's see how much you enjoy that quiz. And every day, we shall do that quiz now in the coming days with different topics, of course. Today, we have places in the news. Tomorrow, rather Monday, we can also do it on space. We can do it on environment, and that shall be exciting. So now quickly, yes, absolutely Shlok. We are all talking about Afghanistan-Pakistan controversy, the war that has been declared by Pakistan already. Okay, so let's start with the first article for the day. This is editorial. Kerala's paradox can spark its global vision. Now, I don't know, I haven't seen Prasad in the class in the last few days, but I remember he used to say that Mr. Tharoor is his favorite writer. Okay, and a lot of students would enjoy the articles written by Mr. Shashi Tharoor. So let's see what this article talks about. This is looking into a case study of Kerala and how sometimes without the capacity of deep, large scale industrialization, economies can still become progressive on them and invite my dear students like I do every day. So welcoming in the class, Shakti Sitaram, Yuvraj, Adam, Pranarathi, Sharlok, Bulbul, Frank, Bhavna, Kundan, Sweetie, Sambhi, Kaushik, Munna, Yuvraj, Shlok, Akash, Brajesh, Ashish, Kavish, Santosh, Eric, Ramu, Krishna, and Hika, as well as Taithong. Then Bhumitesh, Terukula is here, Kundan is here, Satya is here, Shinobi is here, Vikash is also here, Reshma is here. Very, very good. Okay, Alchemy is here, Kojumba is here after a long time. Welcome, my dear. Welcome, my dear. Long time no see. Welcome to the class. God bless you. Okay, Satya is here. Am I not audible, Satya? Is there an issue? Is that an issue with everyone? Can everybody confirm? Am I audible properly and visible? Satya, if it's just a problem from your end, then please just refresh your link once or just close the YouTube and start once again. Yes, I think it could be a glitch from your side. Okay, good morning, Vineet. Wonderful. Thanks for confirming. Okay, then let's start with the first article. Lots of exciting things to do today. Welcome each one in the class. Let's begin with looking at Kerala. What does the article say? What does Mr. Tharoor have to say? So, Mr. Shashi Tharoor, the fourth term member of parliament from Congress party, a very prolific writer also, has to say that Kerala's future lies not in heavy industrialization. From 1991 onwards, we know that ever since India has committed to privatization and the LPG reforms, we always believe that economic growth can happen through heavy industrialization and privatization. But Mr. Tharoor says there are certain states like Kerala which are exception to this rule. Because Kerala's growth model is not based on heavy industrialization but in utilizing its human capital, its biodiversity, its strategic maritime location, and the global diaspora of the Malayali community across the world. These things have enabled Kerala to become sustainable, innovation driven, and a knowledge based, weightless economy. Weightless economy is an economy that depends on surviving and progressing through either foreign remittance or through AI, digital technology, service sector, not necessarily manufacturing and heavy industrialization, but still Kerala has proven that Kerala is a knowledge based economy and integrated with the global value supply chain. Absolutely. The diaspora from Kerala is in a very big number, not just in US, but also in South Asia and in the Gulf nations. And foreign remittance, therefore, happens to be a very big factor of income, and that's correct. Totally. Now, what do we see? This new development vision of Kerala. Why is it so unique? Let's look at the history itself. Now, Kerala has historically practiced globalization. It's not like globalization is new for Kerala. Remember, the Arab settlers, they reached Kerala first. We know that even the Portuguese and the Dutch used to actually reach the coast of Kerala initially, from where they inbuilt their roads into other parts of India. So Kerala has been open to globalization since ancient Indian times, and historically Kerala has done industrialization, globalization through ancient ports like the the Muziris port. Then we have Romans, Arabic, Chinese, Jews, Europeans who all started doing trade in Kerala's spice, trade in gold, and trade in Kerala textile. All that has resulted in a very syncretic civilization in Kerala. Now, this word syncretic is a very good word. Syncretic. When you will study GS paper 1, when you study the features of Indian society, you will study syncretism. What is syncretism? Syncretic. Syncretic means a perfect blend of everything, a very composite, which has features that are blended from different parts. Another very good word for syncretic could be myriad in nature, something that is diverse in nature. So many things combined into one in the form of blending or mixing up together. Very good. That is syncretic. Kerala has had a very syncretic culture, just like Indian society also has a syncretic culture. You might wonder, why is India syncretic? Because Indian culture is a byproduct of blending of several civilizations. Don't you know about Indo Greek art, Greco Roman art, the Mughal culture impact on India? Yes. So India is a very syncretic culture, and that's why Kerala is a very good example of syncretism. Yes, syncretism. Very good, Ramu. A blend of culture into a new unified system. Some people can also say it is syncretism that has led to the modern hybridized culture in India. This shows how Kerala has had a long tradition of economic integration. Now, if you look at the present, very good. The Hellenistic art features, absolutely. Say, for example, even the Gateway of India is a very good example of not purely Indian, but a syncretic art form. In India, most of the temple architectures are example of that. Yeah, absolutely. They are an example of that. Jain temples also. Totally, totally. You remind me of the Dilwara temples. Absolutely. Now, looking at remittance based economy, you have seen how in the last few years Kerala has also complained to the Central Finance Commission that we do not get enough money from the central divisible pool of taxes. Why? Because we are a very advanced state who contribute a high amount of money into India's GDP. We are highly industrialized, and therefore we do not get the right share from the Finance Commission. Also, because Kerala is an economy that is hugely based on remittance culture. For example, a large Malayali diaspora is located in the Middle East and West Asia. And if you look at the number of annual foreign remittance inflow, it is about 1.3 lakh crore rupees, and that's a lot of money. Lot of money. 1.3 lakh crore is the total remittance annually in Kerala. Every year we get this much money. Kerala's economy heavily depends on external income, but this is a challenge also. Challenge because shift from remittance economy to innovation economy is what we need for the future. Are there any structural constraints in Kerala? Yes. There is a reason why we cannot do heavy industrialization in Kerala. Now, when you say India should compete with China and become the global manufacturing power, you can't say Kerala can be used for that kind of manufacturing. Why? Because Kerala has a very high population density, about 901 per square kilometer. That's a very high population density, the number of people per square area of population. But Kerala has a very high literacy also, 96% and above literacy rate. Ecologically, Kerala is a very sensitive state. It is the hotspot of Western Ghats, and that itself is a biodiversity vulnerable area. At the same time, because of high population density and because of coexistence of Western Ghats and wildlife, Kerala does not have enough land available for heavy industrialization. Plus, you have to follow proper coastal regulation zone and environment clearance under NGT to start a new factory or a new industrial project in Kerala. So, therefore, heavy industries like the ones located in Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra model are not suited for Kerala at all. And Kerala must focus on a weightless economy. Kerala should focus on knowledge intensive and low carbon footprint sector. That's the only choice we have. And yes, that's a paradox, Kojumba. Yes, but because despite being one of the highest literally, educated state, despite being the highest in terms of digital literacy, owing to a very high density of population and coexisting wildlife, you can't allocate much land to heavy industry. So, what's the choice? If Kerala has to shift from being dependent on remittance to innovation based, we have to utilize knowledge and service based sector. Does Kerala have a specific strength here? Yes. Look at health, biotechnology, and precision medicine. There's a new word we are learning from this article: precision medication, precision medicine. What are we looking at, Bacha? We are saying Kerala is globally known for its nursing workforce. Kerala is a big contributor to the pink collar labor force. I repeat, pink collar labor force. What is pink collar labor force? Nursing staff, caretaking staff, health delivery workers. Kerala also has the highest geriatric population in India, highest elderly population, aged population. Opportunity for geriatric care can provide for an additional opportunity that is known as opportunities in the silver economy. And how will it benefit India? Allied health workers. How will it help India? Because in India, Kerala is the most geriatric based society. But if you look at the whole world, then majority of countries like Canada, like South Korea, Japan, Russia, Australia, US, European Union nations are all becoming geriatric. All of them are in stage for demographic transition. They have a very low birth rate and a very, very low death rate as well. They are all aging societies. If we can train with excellence our pink collar workforce in Kerala, they can also fulfill for the global job demand in this sector, as most societies are moving towards becoming a silver economy. Plus, Kerala has an opportunity in precision medicine. What do you mean by precision medicine? Here, the article is talking about a concept called Gene Valley concept. That means using genetic diversity, we can manufacture medical devices, stents for the heart. Say, for example, hearing aids, heart valves, via institutions like Sri Chitra Tirunal Institute for Medical Science and Technology. Kerala has a tremendous potential for alternate medication, for which India has a dedicated ministry called Ayush Ministry. So Kerala can also develop state of the art Ayurvedic and herbal plant based medication and validated Ayurvedic therapies for the whole globe together. What about agriculture and biodiversity? Now, Kerala is located Yes, it is located. Very good, Vineet. The India-EU mode, mother of all free trade agreement, also has a provision for creating alternate medicine, Ayurvedic Ayush medication. Recently, the government has also permitted surgical procedures to Ayurvedic doctors who have proper certification in select diseases. You see, that's the importance of Ayush in India now. Ayurvedic, traditional, Unani, Siddha, homeopathy medicine that Kerala can definitely use. Now, what about biodiversity? Kerala is located in a biodiversity hotspot like the Western Ghats. If you look at plants, Kerala has 5,679 flowering plant species. If we adopt a Dutch style high farming practice like the glass house farming practice, vertical farming practice, hydroponics, we can definitely promote high value crops like Pokali rice. Now, this article is talking about Pokali rice. So, we must remember Pokali rice is associated with Kerala in terms of cultivation, a very high quality rice, Pokali rice. You can talk about other important local herbs. A very good example here strikes me from NCERT. Long back from the Trans Himalayan region, there was a medicine known as the Himalayan yew. It has a scientific name as well. It had an excellent property to cure cancer, and hence over exploitation of Himalayan yew started taking place. Today, Himalayan yew has become deficit in the Himalayan area. Very, very good Shakti. Absolutely. Apart from the Pokali rice, also oleo resins. Spice called oleo resin, very famous from Kerala. Correct. Oleo resin. So all these things have a high quality demand in the market and they can be used. Definitely. Now, if we also focus on maximum revenue per inch due to land scarcity in the global market, the demand for such medications are tremendous, which we can capitalize upon. And what about Kerala's blue economy potential? How can we forget? Under Sagar, Mahasagar, India has an agenda to now promote blue or maritime economy. And in Kerala, we can shift from traditional fishing to scientific aquaculture, develop marine rich biotechnology. We can obtain pharmaceutical products from algae. Already India is the leader of generic pharmaceutical industry. Why can't we also become a leader of pharmaceuticals derived from seaweeds and algae? They are nutritious and very, very curative for health problems. We can also leverage international seaports like the Vizhingham port as a value addition to logistic hub. We must create logistic cities like Singapore. After all, one of the intention in the Great Nicobar project is also to promote shipbuilding and logistics and seaports in India, comparative to the Changi port and in Singapore and comparative to the Hambantota port in Sri Lanka. Plus, Kerala has a potential of producing green economy, green ammonia. I repeat, green ammonia. That is also something Kerala can do. Green ammonia. What about space and defense? Definitely space and defense. Because Kerala has already major ISRO institutions. Which ISRO institutions are these? Kerala has the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, the Liquid Propulsion Systems Center. Kerala has Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology. Totally. Now, what can we do to make sure these things happen? Encourage private sector startups in nano satellite production. Leverage aerospaces like the BrahMos Aerospace in defense manufacturing. Use rare earth material like monazite, thorium, ilmenite. Use all these for electronics and semiconductor. Expand the graphene innovation ecosystem in Kochi. Ultimately, Kerala will also attract the global finance technology companies in terms of the startup culture. So, therefore, why should we believe that we will continue to depend on remittances throughout? We can also transform traditional handicrafts into luxury brands for the future. Say, for example, in the handloom sector. Say, for example, in the coconut and coir manufacturing sector. In many more sectors, we can promote local handicrafts at the global level. At the end of the day, Kerala is also a case study where we can create export climate resilient solutions globally, disaster management globally. So, all in all, what Mr. Tharoor has to say is that Kerala is a unique case study in terms of state economy. It has tremendous potential also because of its location at the heart of the Arabian Sea. Now, all that will help Kerala in changing from a remittance based economy into a global, weightless, AI based smart economy that is focusing on digital growth. Ultimately, what is a weightless economy? An economy that depends and grows on knowledge, biotech, space, finance, crypto, green ammonia, creative sectors, not into heavy industrialization. We must convert the constraints of Kerala like old population, limited land available, high population density, delicate ecosystem. All this can be converted into competitive examples by all the examples that Mr. Tharoor has given here. Whether it's fisheries, whether it's geriatry healthcare, whether it's about Ayurveda and Ayush medication sector, whether it's about green ammonia, Kerala backwaters, excellent potential for tourism. You see, all these are the strengths of Kerala. Indeed, a very unique case study when you study the entire Indian state pandrom. So, with that, can we quickly do a question here? Quickly, a question? Correct. So, no need for just remittance based. We can become weightless, knowledge based also. Question says with reference to Kerala's emerging development strategy, shifting from remittance economy to innovation economy, please look at these statements. One, Kerala's demographic transition change, characterized by rapid population aging, can create opportunities in geriatric healthcare, assisted living services, and medical innovation. Terukula, Vineet, Shlok, Shakti answer. What about Reshma? Vikash answers. What about Munna? Kojumba Eric, Reshma answers. Second, the presence of institutions like Vikram Sarabhai Space Center and Liquid Propulsion System Center enables Kerala to position itself in the weightless economy involving high-tech sectors. And three, given Kerala's ecological fragility, what is fragility? When something is fragile, it's very delicate, it's very weak, it's very vulnerable. Lying on Western Ghats, yes, Kerala is very vulnerable. Ecological fragility and high population density, large scale heavy industrialization is considered the most suitable long term development pathway for the state. So, which of these are valid? Do we have a split here? A minor split? Yes, there is a minor split, no doubt. So, then which other students are answering? After Vikash and Reshma comes Shlok, Kavish, Bhavna, Chip, Krishna, Yuvraj, Alchemy, Vaibhav, Munna. Very good. Ramu, Kojumba, Shinobi, Pranarathi, AB, Brajesh, Taithom, Kundan, Shlok. Very, very good. It's a very minor split, but that's okay. Let's try to solve the question now. Yuvraj, Urupam, brilliant, well tried. Is A correct? Totally correct. Why should we believe that old population, ecological fragility because of Western Ghats, and limited space because of high density population, 901 people per square kilometer? Why should we see that as a constraint? These can become assets for the future also. Correct. Second, correct. All these enable weightless economy. Yes, what is weightless economy? That grows on innovation, specialization, knowledge, biotech, space, fintech, creative sector. Correct. Third is correct. Let's break it down. But yeah, what is third saying? Half of it is correct. Half of it is correct. Third says ecological vulnerability, fragility, and high population density. Large scale industrialization is the most suitable plan for Kerala. And what did we start this article by saying? Bacha, what did we start this article by saying? We said that, bache, like Tamil Nadu, like Maharashtra, the model of heavy industrialization will not work for Kerala. Why will it not work for Kerala? Because there is no space. A very high population density plus environmentally ecological, a very, very delicate landscape overlapping with the Western Ghat area. How can you do deep industrialization here? Not possible. How can you make extra space available? Already there is a crunch of space. Have you seen? Kerala sees one of the highest human animal conflict, wildlife intruding into farms and cultivated areas. That's why Supreme Court, Honorable Court said every case of wildlife, animal human conflict will be treated as a registered natural disaster. Yes? So we can't do that. Kerala doesn't need heavy industrialization. It doesn't suit Kerala. For Kerala, not heavy industrialization. For Kerala, weightless economy is the best model for tomorrow. So third cannot be correct. If third is not correct, then naturally, what's the right answer? B is the right answer. 1 and 2 are valid. I hope everybody understood. Is everything clear? As yes, Shlok is confirming. Whenever you make a port, for example, in Tamil Nadu also, there is a village, there is a region called Dhanushkodi. Now, in Dhanushkodi, in the broader Gulf of Mannar, when we were trying to experiment, even near Thuthukudi, we were trying to make a wind turbine just as an experiment of wind energy. People were retaliating. They said, you can't do that. This is an area of flamingo hotspot. Why are you creating wind turbines and experimental projects here? Nobody tolerates industrialization in ecologically sensitive regions, right? So, third is not valid. You can't do heavy industrialization. That's why it was based on remittance. But today, we can, as per Mr. Tharoor, become a weightless and knowledge economy and change our liabilities into asset. So, B is the right answer. Okay, no problem. If everyone is clear, then it's fine. Well answered, well tried, good participation. I'm really happy. Very good. Yes, Tamil Nadu, that's the example. Dhanushkodi also, one of India's last villages, and Thuthukudi also. In both these areas, there have been protests when we were trying to create wind energy. Similar, as Ramu says, the Great Nicobar is the biggest example. In India, it has always been like that. How can you create industrialization in a delicate ecosystem? You can't, right? Okay. Correct. Migratory birds also come here. Perfect. Second article, editorial. What does it say? International law is not dead. Its rules are still resilient. So, which UPSC syllabus are we looking into? GS paper 2. We are looking into international relations. And what does this article have to say, bache? Easy article. Article is saying there are growing tensions right now between US and Iran. Tensions between Russia-Ukraine since 2022. Tensions between Israel and Gaza, ever increasing since 2023. Tensions between Thailand, Cambodia, increased in 2025. Tensions between countries like Myanmar and how China supports their military regime called Tatmadaw. Tensions between India-China border, tensions between Pakistan-Afghanistan. What are we doing? Where is the world heading towards? Tensions between US-Venezuela. What is going on? Civil war Sudan, civil war Somalia, civil war Ethiopia, Eritrea border, civil war DRC. What kind of a world is this? This world is completely upside down right now. Is this the kind of world which we were trying to create when we thought of post Second World War global institutions like United Nations, like World Trade Organization? Nobody wanted a world which could foresee another World War III. But today the world is divided into many, many wars. Absolutely. Cuba, Mexico, you name it. There is a war everywhere. US has also decided at the same time to withdraw from so many global bodies like United Nations and 66 agencies affiliated to that. And US has been taking unilateral monopolistic action against countries like Venezuela. Operation Absolute Resolve, Southern Spear, capturing Mr. President Maduro. Completely isolating the economy of Cuba, harming the economy of Colombia. At the same time, also financing the murder of El Mencho in Mexico. Today, threatening Iran with a possible future attack. Many thinkers are saying that we are entering a rule-free world, a world where there are no rules, a world where the World War III can happen anytime. But some people are saying that still you can't say. that global institutions are dead. They are not dead. International law is definitely getting attacked, but it is still alive and it is still surviving. Because although countries like US and Russia and China make a mockery of global institutions, there are still swing states like India, Brazil, European Union who still respect global institutions. So, how can we say these bodies are dead? They are not dead. It's just that they are being attacked one after the other. So, what's the core issue here? The core issue goes back to United Nations Charter. See, under United Nations Charter, we have studied before, there is an article called Article 24. Article 24 of UN Charter. What does it say? It prohibits, it stops the use of threat or the use of force from one country to another in international relations. But look at the recent examples. Article 24 has been broken so many times. Soviet-Afghan war in the past, it was broken. The Gulf War, it was broken. Iraq War 2003, it was broken. Libya, Syria conflict, it was broken. US-Russia, Russia-Ukraine war broken. US attack on Venezuela broken. Pahalgam terror attack, it was broken. And despite widespread violation, we still can't say that 2-4 is dead. We can't say 2-4 is useless. That we can't say. Although it's being abused every day, but still it survives. And it remains the only and one of the biggest frameworks to judge and to control the behavior of one state against another. Why does international law still matter when people are breaking it? Because even though powerful countries are breaking all these laws to justify their actions, well, why just UN? Also WTO. When Mr. Trump imposes arbitrarily 50 to 143% tariff on all the countries with whom he feels upset, he is also breaking the most favored nation protocol of WTO. But who can say anything? Nobody. When he withdraws from UNFCCC and Paris Agreement 2015, he does the same. When he abandons the G20 summit in Johannesburg, South Africa, he has done the same. But what can anybody still do? Nothing. So, although powerful countries are breaking down their global commitments and they are justifying their actions, still, at least there is some symbolic value of law. A world with a symbolic law is better than an anarchic world. What is anarchic world? A world characterized by anarchy. What is anarchy? Sociology students will always call this anomie. Lawlessness, a situation where all the law and order breaks down, a complete chaos. Having a paper law is better than having an anarchy. That's what we believe. Why? Because at least these laws, even though they are on paper only nowadays, they provide the weaker and the developing countries with some legal basis to question the actions of developed countries. Without these paper laws, global politics becomes pure power struggle. There is no authority then. It will only become power, and power without legitimacy cannot be called authority. How can we say international relations can be called legal today? Now, in today's times, if you see, it's a very dystopian world, Shlok, very good. In today's times, if you realize, there are global laws not only to control war, but also to control climate change, outer space treaty, maritime law, UNCLOS, human rights are there, gender rights are there, children rights are there, UNICEF, arms control treaties are there, CTBT, nuclear non-proliferation, the New START treaty. There are investment and trade laws also, WTO. But in reality, all these laws have only now become a proper paper law. There is this problem of material culture lag where laws are there on paper, but the rich countries believe in weaponizing these laws to fulfill their agenda. And what's the real threat here? Artemis Accord as well. Please go ahead, Yuvraj. What's the real threat right now? Earlier, powerful countries at least tried to justify their actions. But today, they don't even try to justify. They don't even try to justify their actions. They are acting like populist regimes, authoritarian governments. After attacking Venezuela and capturing Mr. Maduro, Mr. Trump went back to his country and very proudly said, Now people will believe America will always be the superpower. He was not ashamed of breaking down Article 24. He was not bothered about how other countries would raise question on him. He was actually celebrating the power and monopoly of America. This shows that today, most of the democracies have actually become authoritarian. And nobody wants to justify their action despite breaking global protocols. Very often, there is a little respect to respect and logically reason any kind of protocol under United Nations. This is a new trend. It's not just that US is doing it. China does it every time. If US is breaking down United Nations laws of Article 24, China breaks down all the laws of United Nations laws on the conventions of UNCLOS by deliberately trying to capture through salami slicing strategy various areas under other countries' exclusive economic waters. One by one, these things are happening. Yes, now if you look at international law still functions, although silently. Now, for a very long time after Second World War, people were worried about the war. So everybody used to respect United Nations. But today, although United Nations is alive, people have not really been able to respect the spirit behind it. Even when wars are dominating the headlines, the free trade agreements are continuing. What a hypocrisy. US attacked Venezuela and did what it had to do. Took away all the oil fields of Venezuela. Today it might take over oil fields in Cuba. He is threatening to take Greenland also. But still, did it stop other countries from respecting WTO? Other countries are merely doing their free trade agreement. India itself has signed a major free trade agreement with EU, MODE. Today, India is also considering a bilateral agreement with US. Again, India is considering another free trade agreement with Canada also. So, who is busy talking about what US is doing and what it should not do? Is the world not living? Have people stopped signing agreements? They are still signing. The world is still merrily going ahead. Every day we take a bitter pill of US monopoly. But can we do something about it? Nothing. Has India forgotten? It is the same US which blamed us during Operation Sindoor of attacking Pakistan. Same US which enabled two times a heavy bailout from International Monetary Fund to Pakistan, the biggest joke of the millennium. Pakistan became the chairperson of one of the United Nations Security Council Committee on Terror. And still, what could India do? Nothing. And still, are we not negotiating free trade agreement with US? We are. That's why we say it's a culture lag. Laws are there on paper and all countries respect them. But the powerful countries have totally refused to respect them. Look at the High Sea Treaty aimed at marine biodiversity. And still, you see piracy going on openly. You see the shadow fleets floating everywhere. And you see countries like US one by one capturing all the oil tankers of other countries. Yes, Bella One, Atlantis. So many of them, one by one, held by US. Who could stop US? Nobody. In the transatlantic region, nobody. Then, pandemic. Pandemics are also something that have a deep conspiracy. Till date, nobody has a clarity on what was the involvement of World Health Organization with China. Why did the report on COVID pandemic was released so late to the global community? By the time it was already too late. Who has clarity? Nobody. Today we are saying vaccines were all fake, they were jacked up. Did any proper investigation happen on the amount of cardiac arrests and on the amount of strokes that young people are experiencing, all those who had taken the vaccine pandemic? No investigation. So what is happening? Openly people are breaking the laws and still those who want to follow are following the laws. Laws are not mandatory now. Laws have become like a marketplace. You purchase a law that you want to follow, you ignore the law that you want to dislike. Will anybody say anything? Nobody will say anything to you. Whether it's goods, services, aviation, internet, all are operating smoothly. And in the backdrop, the bigger countries are breaking down global protocols. How can we conclude this article by saying? What we can say is that, see, whenever there is a law, there is always an anecdote to the law. Just like every poison has some anecdote to it, antidote to it. Similarly, every law has another twist to it. A very good example can be United Nations Charter Article 2.4. Article 2.4 prohibits one country from attacking, threatening, and using force against another country. But there is an exception. Ramu was mentioning a while back. Article 51 of UN Charter. That says you can attack, you can threaten, and you can take an action against another country, but only on the grounds of self-defense. Today, then what happens? Most of the countries attack and they then use Article 51 to justify. A very funny example I can give you here. When US was conducting Operation Southern Spear against Venezuela and Colombia, a lot of people were questioning, why is US breaking down Article 51? Within US, opposition parties asked that question to President Trump, and you know what did he say? He said, because I am using Article 51. I'm doing it for US self-defense. Otherwise, narcotic terror will become too predominant in US. I don't want fentanyl and opium to reach our country, so I'm doing this attack. When he was questioned by the NATO members, why do you want to capture Greenland? Is this not Article 24? He said, no, it is Article 51, bro. Why? Because if I don't do it, China, Russia will. It's a matter of security for me, so I have to. You see, this is how anecdotes work. For every law, there is something that you can highlight and break that law if you do not want to respect that law. And who, more than Russia, US, China, can be held accountable for this kind of violation today? They can be. Now, this is a paradox, bacha. Can't you see the paradox here? The countries who have permanent membership in the United Nations Security Council are all those countries who are busy breaking international protocols. If your security is being handled by those who are violating the law, then whom should we believe in? And who will respect the global law? Then can we say that laws are only meant to control the weak and developing? And laws are meant to be twisted by the power elite like it happens in every society. Same thing is happening in the global community as well. So therefore, today what can we conclude this article by saying? What we can say is international law is under severe stress right now. Whether it's UN or WTO or WHO, it's under severe stress. But thankfully, it is not dead. When there are violators existing, then there are those who are respecting the law too, like India, Brazil, like Mexico, like EU, Australia. The swing states are at least respecting the laws, even if the big countries are breaking them. So what's the solution? The solution is not to abandon the law. We can't abandon them. If we abandon the law, then China will create its own parallel institutions. So we can't abandon the law. Another most unfortunate thing is that a lot of people ask a question, especially when I discuss philosophy essay, especially when I discuss ethics. A lot of my students mail me and they ask me, why can't we abandon US completely? What if all the countries of the world just abandon US? Do you think, what is the concept of power elite? So many times I have given bacha that there is a concept that is called that power is a zero-sum game. Power is a zero-sum concept. Always understand that. Today, if you abandon US completely, it is not like world will become an equal place to live in. The place of US will be taken immediately by China. In fact, China is waiting for that because power is always limited. You can't say that there is infinite power in the world. Power is always only this much. Either one person holds it or another person holds it. So no matter how much you criticize, power is a very narrow concept. It's a zero-sum game. Some one person will always have it. So if you defeat US, if you do de-dollarization, yes, obviously because of dollar, because of naval strength, because of military, because of soft power, because of technology, US dominates. Today, if you remove US, do you think the world will not be replaced by another elite? Then China will be the elite. At least US is still democratic on paper. China will not even do that much. You know, salami slicing. The whole world will then become under the 9-dash line. So you see, it's not that easy. Okay? Correct. So power is always like that. It's a very important concept in PSIR and sociology, the concept of power elite. The world will always be ruled by an elite. We can forget the idea that world can be an egalitarian place or a completely socialistic place. It doesn't work like that. It cannot work like that. Even Karl Marx used to say that no matter how much revolution you do, no matter how much socialism and communism you create, one day the same communism will get translated into another power struggle because power is always zero sum. It cannot be increased. It cannot be shared equally among people. So quickly, the second question then. Hegemony, absolutely. What happened, Yuvraj? Yuvraj was asking a question. Very good. I saw the question now. Okay, sorry for the delay, bache. See, you are saying, can we make reforms in UN? Are we not trying to do that already? Is Brazil not supporting India? Is Germany not supporting India? France is also supporting India. All these countries are supporting India to reform the United Nations Security Council. India has been trying to find a permanent membership in UNSC, but we haven't done that. Why? Because veto power is very polarized. Power is zero sum. US has veto, China has veto, let alone UN. I will tell you about APEC. India has also tried to become a member of APEC. Yes, Asia Pacific Economic Forum, long back from 1991 and also 1997. Yes, Yuvraj, APEC also India tried to be a member, but China did not let us become. When China is stopping our membership in APEC, do you think it will not stop in UNSC? It will, through repeated vetoes. So therefore, it's not easy to reform bodies like United Nations because they are predominated by the rich countries. I hope it's clear. Okay. Many answers are coming rolling in. Who initiated the answer? Terukula, Reshma, Prajesh, Shlok, Shakti, Vikash, Kritik, Vineet, Chip, Sitaram, Bulbul. Very good. Pranarthi, Akhtar, Shinobi, Krishna. Well done. What's the question? I didn't read it also. With reference to international law and prohibition on the use of force, consider these statements quickly. 1. Article 2.4 of UN Charter prohibits the threat or the use of force by states in their international relations. Is that not correct? Totally correct. That's what it does. 2. Repeated violation of 2.4 in recent decades have led to its formal change. It has been repealed. It has been reformed by United Nations General Assembly. Acha, when did that happen? Nobody told me. Where was I? Was I not on the planet? I don't remember. When was it repealed? It has not been repealed at all. It is still the same. Second is not correct. Second is not correct. Please eliminate C and D. 3. Under international law, the right to self-defense is a legal, recognized exception to the prohibition on the use of force. Absolutely. Which article are we talking about? In the third statement, Article 51 of UN Charter. Same that India had highlighted in doing Operation Sindoor. Same that Mr. Trump keeps highlighting when he abuses Article 2.4. Third is correct, totally. Then A should be the right answer. Completely. Any confusions, any doubts? Any confusions, any doubts? Kujumba is answering. AB also answers. Very good. Vikash. Taithong also answers. Bhavna. Brajesh. Clear? Yeah, it has not been repealed. Had it been repealed, then what would have happened? Imagine. When it's there, so much violation is happening. If it is repealed, then imagine what all can happen. So A is the right answer. It's an easy question. But now you will face some tougher questions. Now very interesting articles. Let's do some traveling. Let's look at GS paper 2. Afghanistan-Pakistan border, Durand line, Balochistan. Let's travel to this area. Enjoy the map and let me explain what's going on. What is happening in the world right now? Now, Pakistan has carried out air strikes on major Afghan cities. Yes, Yuvraj. Please tell me. Pakistan has carried out military strikes, air strikes on cities in Afghanistan, including the capital Kabul. It's not a small thing. Again, it is Article United Nations Charter, Article 2.4. It has been defeated again. It has been broken once again. This time by Pakistan. Very good, Yuvraj. The Durand line in red you can see here, bacha. Defeated again. Why? Now don't laugh if I say that. Everybody is going to laugh, I know. If you can control your laughter, then I will tell you one more thing. Pakistan has attacked Afghanistan. Fine. Broken down Article 2.4. Now don't laugh when I tell you. What is Pakistan saying? Pakistan is saying, I have done this to do self-defense under Article 51 of United Nations Charter. Now you can laugh a little bit. Pakistan is saying, I have done this attack on Afghanistan as an act of self-defense. Self-defense by highlighting Article 51 of UN Charter, just like it's copying India, when India was also attacking the terrorist infrastructure in Pakistan during Operation Sindoor. Yes. Okay. Now, what has happened now? Pakistan's defense minister declared this as an open war against Taliban. Both sides claim heavy casualties. People have died on either side, although official number has not come out yet. Very good. Operation Ghazab Lil Haq. That's what Pakistan calls it to be. Okay. What's the root cause of the controversy? This is important for UPSC, my bacha. Yes, it's very funny. Pakistan saying self-defense? Are you serious? Okay. What is the root cause of the controversy? Well, the root cause of the controversy is a militant group. What militant group? This militant group is known as TTP. TTP. What is TTP? TTP is called Tariq-e-Taliban Pakistan. I repeat, Tariq-e-Taliban Pakistan. This is the root cause of the controversy, and this is a group from Afghanistan. It's a Talibani group, but it operates against Pakistan. It hates Pakistan. Pakistan accuses Taliban government of not only sheltering the TTP but also failing to control the militancy of TTP. Pakistani leaders say Taliban gives weapons. I read the comment from Kaushik says stress, and I'm also saying stress. So sorry. Pakistani government says it is Taliban that provides weapons, food, security, shelter to the militants of TTP. And the Afghanistan Taliban government says, no, we don't do that. They are denying this claim. They are saying we don't do. Now, this is reminding me of history. History repeats itself. This is causing me a deja vu. A deja vu. Something similar happened in the case of Operation Sindoor. India told Pakistan that you are giving money to Lashkar-e-Toiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, TTP. Yes, but Pakistan said, no, I don't do that. Similar thing is happening now, but the role has changed. Pakistan tells Afghanistan, you finance TTP, and Afghanistan says, no, what proof do you have? I don't support TTP militancy. Since the Afghanistan Taliban have returned to power in 2021, the TTP attacks in Pakistan have only increased. They are saying neither does the Pakistani government treat Afghani minorities with respect, nor do they support any kind of development or autonomy in Balochistan. They have always done minority right repression. What's the broader conflict? What's the bigger context here? Now, these clashes have been ongoing for months altogether. Land border crossings are mostly shut today. Earlier, there was a ceasefire. If you remember, a ceasefire between Afghanistan and Pakistan was mediated by Qatar and Turkey. Both of them were trying to mediate and create peace, but the peace talks failed. Peace talks failed. Then comes Saudi Arabia. Now you will ask me, ma'am, why Saudi Arabia is coming? You should ask. Why is Saudi Arabia coming in the picture? Saudi Arabia came, and Saudi Arabia also tried to create some mediation. It also tried to make some captured soldiers from Pakistan come out of Talibani jail. Why? Because, don't forget, bache, in 2025, Saudi Arabia and Pakistan have signed an SMDA, Strategic Mutual Defense Agreement. Attack against one is attack against another. Where is Saudi? I am asking a question to you. Where is Saudi? We read about the SMDA. Yes, Reshma and Terukula. They were best of friends. It's a mutual defense agreement. Just like NATO, attack against one is attack against the other. Now Afghanistan is attacking Pakistan. Where is Saudi Arabia? Why is Saudi Arabia not coming in the war? Where is it? It has only tried to do peace efforts. It has not come to fight the war. It should have come, no? Now somebody can also ask a question. Why does Saudi support Pakistan? For its own need. Look at West Asia. Israel is a nuclear power. Iran is a nuclear power. Iran has tremendous uranium mining capacity. Israel has support from US. Do you think tomorrow, if Israel or Iran will attack Saudi Arabia, will US come to protect Saudi? It will never come. It will never come. And Saudi knows that. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman knows that tomorrow if Israel is to attack me directly, or tomorrow if Iran also throws a missile on me, Trump will not come to help me. So he needs a friend. He needs a nuclear state to be his friend. Maybe Saudi Arabia wants to become a nuclear power. Who will support? Only a country like Pakistan can support. Pakistan can send military and troop also. Pakistan can also send nuclear technology also. And that is why Saudi is making friends with Pakistan. For Pakistan also it's a benefit, symbiotic relationship, mutualistic relationship. Pakistan provides military and nuclear technology to Saudi, making Saudi safe and secure as one of the largest countries in West Asia. Strong force against Iran, Israel, UAE. And in return, Pakistan gets cheap oil and loans. Simple. They are best of friends, of course, but where is Saudi Arabia today? I thought war is going on. Then you should come under SMDA. But till now, you have not come. Saudi is a little late, I think. Now what? Why is this important? Because not just Saudi, Iran and China are also involved. Iran and China have also said, please maintain calm, maintain peace. How much Iran will tolerate? Look at the mental state of Mr. Khamenei also. Any day US can attack. US is already threatening. No need to do any kind of nuclear enrichment and don't make missiles. Iran is already under threat. Saudi hates Iran. US is ready to attack Iran. Israel hates Iran. Nobody will come to Iran's support either. Now, in Iran's nearby border, if another war starts in Pakistan-Afghanistan, again refugee crisis in Iran. Why will Iran want instability? It doesn't want. China has also said, don't fight, guys, don't fight. Why is China getting interested? Of course, China is getting interested. Now imagine Shlok or Ashish or Satya. If I keep 1 lakh rupees in your house, 1 crore rupees in your house, will I ever want that thieves should come to your house? Of course, I will not want. My money will also get stolen. Same thing here. China has invested billions of dollars of BRI, Belt and Road Initiative, in Pakistan. Today, if war happens, everything is getting destroyed. Whose money is getting stolen? Chinese money is under threat, right? That is why, whenever there is a problem in Afghanistan, India goes and stops. Whenever somebody attacks Chabahar port, India has a problem. We get heartburnt. Our money is there. Why will China allow all the money to get wasted? China would never want that. And China also knows that Pakistan is good for nothing. It's just a liability. Today, if the war happens, China will have to support Pakistan. They are long term allies. Why will China spend extra yuan when already it is spending the yuan on something more important, cheap Russian oil? Everybody wants to save their issues. Everybody wants their priority. They don't want to help others without any condition. And that's geopolitics for today. Yes. Okay, so that's the situation right now. Now, another controversy is that Pakistan is a nuclear armed state. You know that. Since 1998, Pakistan has been testing nuclear weapons. It is a nuclear state. Taliban is not a nuclear state. Definitely not. But a war with a nuclear state is not something Taliban can afford. And no country will allow a nuclear state to go for a war. Again, that can cause a big regional devastation. Instability in this area definitely impacts South Asian insecurity. People sitting in West Asia are so worried. They are like, already Israel, Palestine have made our life difficult. They don't stop fighting. Now US is also behind Iran. UAE, Saudi also keep fighting. There is no peace in Yemen. Come on guys, stop it now. Not again. No more war. What happens to all the oil supply? It gets totally devastated. Stop yourself. So everybody is worried about this war. Except Pakistan, the whole world is anxious. And Mr. Trump is very cool. He is not worried. Why? Because he will not do anything. Let's be honest, he will not do anything. Even if they go for war, he will not spend $1 also. Okay? In fact, he will hope that China will come and help. He is not going to do anything. So he is very relaxed. Rest, everybody is under stress. For India, it's not a small thing. A war in the border is not a small thing. It leads to refugee crisis and definite spillovers. Plus, India does support Taliban. Not ideologically, but we have investment in Afghanistan. You know about the Salma Dam, Kabul Dam, Shehtut Dam, so many other initiatives we have done in Afghanistan. It is also an issue of cross-border terrorism. And ultimately, China, Iran, and Saudi are involved diplomatically here. Afghanistan's instability does impact regional connectivity projects like IMEC, India Middle Eastern Economic Corridor and Chabahar Port, trade routes. Now, don't you remember? The Gwadar port of Pakistan is only 72 kilometers away from Chabahar port. That's again a tension, refugee crisis plus. So what's the core understanding? Pakistan's blame that Afghanistan is not acting against TTP militants. We don't know how true that is. But what we know is that if the war becomes an open escalation right now, then it will cause a problem to most of the neighborhood countries, and India is included here definitely. So, what steps will be taken? That is yet to be seen. From India's side, India will definitely try to call for ceasefire. But what do the big daddies do here? What does China ultimately decide? Will Saudi come to support or not? If Saudi comes to support, Mr. Trump will allow? Or will he say, no, ignore, live your own life? Will other countries like Russia get involved here in the long run? We are yet to see that. But quite interesting, actually. Quite interesting. Okay? All right. Now let's quickly see the question. With reference to recent tension between Pakistan and Afghanistan, very good, Shlok. Look at these statements. One, the return of Taliban to power in Afghanistan in 21 has coincided with increase in attacks by Tariq-e-Taliban within Pakistan. Second, Pakistan justifies cross-border strikes in Afghanistan on the grounds of self-defense against non-state actors operating from Afghan territory. Laugh less, solve more. Second statement. Third one, since both Pakistan and Afghanistan are members of Shanghai Cooperation Organization, SCO, organization has a formal collective security mechanism just like NATO to address such bilateral security conflicts. Interesting question. I can see no split. Now, this is something I have failed to understand about my Hindu batch. I totally failed to understand. When I assume that the question is so easy and everybody will do it, there is always a split. When I presume in the morning that the question is tough and 100% there is going to be a split, every time you give a uniform answer. How? How do you always do what I don't foresee? And how come Shlok's commitments, Shlok's predictions are coming true and every prediction that I make always goes wrong? These are some personal issues I'm having now. Complete uniformity in the verdict. Everybody says answer is A. What is this, guys? How can you do this? When I imagine a split, you don't do split. Finally, some small split. Thank you. Thank you for keeping my words. Okay. What's the meaning of non-state actors? Very good question. NSA. Non-state actors mean those terror organizations which officially are not getting financed by the government of a country, like say Lashkar-e-Toiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed. Now, in reality, we know Pakistan does finance them, but Pakistan doesn't officially admit that we are financing them. Yes? So these are operating independently and creating terrorism in the world. For example, even in sub-Saharan Africa, there are so many non-state actors which are not getting support from a country. They act independently. Yes? So what's the right answer? Well, almost everybody has said A. Let me quickly go down and see who started answering. So it was Terikula, Shlok, Ashish, Kritik, Vineet, Sumed, Shakti, Reshma, Vikash, Apex, Shinobi, Yuvraj, Bhavna, and then everyone has answered almost. Very good. So answer is A. No doubts about that. Why is the third statement wrong? No. Is third statement wrong because of that? Quickly, let's break down the third statement, bache. Let's talk about Shanghai Cooperation Organization. We all understand in 2017, it was two countries called India and Pakistan who had joined the SCO. Is Afghanistan a member of Shanghai Cooperation Organization or not? Let's have a clarity on this first. Sure? Is it a confirmed comment that you are giving? Let's talk about Shanghai Cooperation Organization. We know India, Pakistan are members. Is Afghanistan a member of Shanghai Cooperation Organization? Yes or no? Second part is totally wrong. NATO has a collective security arrangement called Article 5 of NATO Charter. That means attack against one country is an attack against another country. But Shanghai cooperation is not a military mechanism. It has no such provision. So anyway, third is wrong. But the bigger question, is Afghanistan a member or not? Most people are saying it's not. So can we presume the third statement is totally incorrect? Pakistan and India 2017, correct. What about Afghanistan? What about Afghanistan? Not a member? Fine. Then third is totally wrong. Neither is Afghanistan a member, nor Is SCO having a collective security structure like NATO? Anup says it is a member. That's what I'm asking you. Is it a member or not? You confirm, I proceed. Member or not? Yes, no, no, yes. It is not. It is not. I'll be super confused by such responses. Pranarathi clarifies. Not a member. Thank you, Terukula. Third is totally wrong. Neither a member nor do we have a collective security arrangement. Clear? Pakistan is. India is. Very, very good. Brilliant. It's an observer. Okay, Krishna. Noted. Well answered. Well done, everyone. Let's not forget this. Quickly, let's proceed with another country. GS paper 2, India and Canada. Did we study recently about Canada? Yes, we did. We must see the map first. Where is Canada? Here is Canada. Did we see something recently about Canada? Yes. We saw that Canada provides the largest flow of crude to US. US imports maximum crude from Canada. Then some student was asking me in the class, then why can't Canada send crude to other countries like India? But I said it can't. Why? Because it doesn't have the sovereignty to do that. Very good. Because Canada depends on US for approval. All the pipelines of Canada are integrated and they are across the land borders of US. US will never allow Canada to send oil anywhere else. Complete monopoly, complete dependence, like economic colonialism. We can call this crude colonialism. Crude oil colonialism. You can only supply oil to me, otherwise you can't supply to anyone else. That's what US tells Canada today. Canada is frustrated with this kind of domination. US does not even allow Canada to interfere in the price of the supply. US forces Canada to sell at a price that's acceptable to the US, otherwise US threatens to close the border completely and also to therefore disconnect the oil pipelines. And therefore Canada is tired of this. Canada wants diversification, and hence an example, Canadian Prime Minister Mr. Mark Carney has now thought of making a strong relations with India, and he has visited India to change the strained relations between India and Canada. The relations were strained owing to Khalistani terror network, the supposed and the alleged involvement of Indian authorities in the killing or the murder of a Khalistani leader in Canada, owing to Canada's dependence on the voter base of people from the Sikh community. They both had a strained relation. Canada had also blamed India for interfering in its internal peace and stability. But today, the relations are now being completely reset as the Canadian Prime Minister, Mr. Carney, has come to India. What's the agenda? Canada's relations with US have weakened terribly. One of the longest borders between two countries, Canada and US, both the nations are having a poor relationship. And Canada is tired, frustrated of this relation with US, domination, monopoly, and Canada wants diversification. And it wants to find India as a key option here. What's the main objective of Mr. Carney's visit to India? To boost trade and economic cooperation, to focus on comprehensive economic partnership agreement. Now, we are looking at the word SEPA for the third time right now. We all know with UAE, India has signed a SEPA, Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, back in 22. With Oman, India recently signed a SEPA in 2025. Now, Canada also wants to sign a comprehensive economic partnership with India. That means not only trade in goods and services, also more people to people migration, more visa, more collaboration in defense, more collaboration in energy security, more collaboration in AI and cyber security, plus crypto and many other sectors. Aim, what is the aim? To double the bilateral trade, very good, with Jordan as well, but probably not a SEPA, a free trade agreement. With Canada, it was with Jordan, it was an FTA. Very well pointed out, Shlo. With Jordan, Ethiopia, it was an FTA. With the Oman, with UAE, and now with Canada, it's going to be a SEPA. CEPA. What's the aim? To double the bilateral trade. Very well reminded, Reshmi. Very good. So, to double the bilateral trade, what's going on? Meetings are going on between Canadian leaders and from India, Prime Minister Shri Modi, and with India's External Affairs Minister, Mr. S. Jaishankar. What's going on? Interaction is going on within India Canada CEO level forum. There are memorandum of understandings being signed for economic and strategic cooperation. But why suddenly Canada needs India now? Few years before, Canada used to insult India. It used to blame India for carrying out internal security attacks, secret surveillance. What happened? Why are you changing so much? Because Canada's relations with US are totally disturbed. To reduce economic dependence on US, the crude oil dependence, Canada needs a stronger Asian trade partnership, access to India's large market of consumers, and cooperation in energy, technology, education. Let's not forget, Canada also has a major Indian diaspora. Why India matters? Because India has one of the largest consumer base, quickly fast growing economy, the fourth largest. India has a huge domestic prospect of consumption. Lot of Indian consumers could buy Canadian products, giving a good export income to Canada. Strong service and technology sector in India, and strategic importance that India has in the Indo-Pacific region. So how can we conclude this article? By saying that Canada is now trying to reset its trade relations with India and to diversify its global trade away from US. Now there are few key facts we must remember. One, India is Canada's seventh largest trading partner. I repeat, India is Canada's seventh largest trading partner. The bilateral trade between India and Canada was about 30 billion in 24. We are planning to make it 70 billion by 2030. More than 400 Canadian companies are present in India, and more than 1,000 companies are actively doing business in Indian market. Canada and India are working towards a CEPA, Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, as well as a FIPA. We have never heard of FIPA. FIPA. SEPA we know, deep integration. FIPA. FIPA, Foreign Investment Promotion and Protection Agreement, where both countries will allow more startup, more innovation hubs into each other's land. Canada also remains India's most reliable supplier of what? What does Canada supply to India in a huge number? Huge number. Canada supplies potash to India that's used in Indian fertilizer. Canada supplies pulses to India, lentils. Do not forget Atmanirbharta in Pulses Program 2025, which are critical for India's agriculture stability. Potash and pulses, PP. What's the question? With reference to Vineet answers, with reference to recent visit of Canadian Prime Minister Mr. Carney to India, look at these statements. One, the visit aims to accelerate, to improve negotiations on CEPA between both. Second, Canada's outreach to India is partially driven by its attempt to diversify trade partnership amid strained relations with US. And three, Canada and India are members of same formal military alliance in the Indo-Pacific. Which of these are true? Slightly abstract question. Who all answer? Chip, Rajneeshwar, Vikash. Who initiated? Vineet initiated, I do suppose. Followed by Terukula, Reshma, Shlok, Shakti, Anup, Ashish, Sumed, Vikash, Bulbul, Bhumitesh. Kritik, Bhavna. Anybody else? Few answers for this one. Atul, very good. Prajesh, Hika. Minor split, is it? Okay. Anup also answers. Kritik answers. Apex, Pothu, Hika. Okay, then what's the right answer? No stress. Absolutely, you are giving the right answer. First two statements are indeed correct. Third statement is indeed wrong. Which are the formal military alliances in the Indo-Pacific? Now, for example, if you look at Quad, is Canada a member of Quad? No. Does Canada conduct any kind of formal military exercise in the Indo-Pacific? Example, exercise Malabar of Quad, exercise Concon with UK. All these exercises are ultimately meant to control and stop China's influence in Indian Ocean and Indo-Pacific. But is Canada involved here? No, not at all. Not at all. Canada is not involved here. Neither Quad nor any other such organization which controls Chinese expansion in the Indo-Pacific. In fact, Canada has never been engaged with anything actively being done in Indo-Pacific to control China. So therefore, third makes no sense to us. Okay, and hence 1 and 2 are valid, making A the right answer. Really well answered. For this one, you deserve a round of applause for sure. Now we are almost done with the major articles. Let's do a quick quiz. But before we do the quiz, here's a very small 2-line coverage on something very interesting actually. Now, what has happened is that our president, Ms. Draupadi Murmu, has actually become the first Indian president to be traveling and to be doing a small sortie, a small kind of journey in India's indigenously manufactured light combat helicopter known as Prachand. And she did this in Rajasthan in Jaisalmer. Okay, so what is HAL Prachand? It has been manufactured by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. It's an Atmanirbhar, Agrani, and Atulya Bharat initiative, AAA initiative, a part of India's self-reliance in defense manufacturing. So in India, HAL, Hindustan Aeronautic Limited, has made a light combat aircraft helicopter. It is called Prachand. What does Prachand mean in Hindi? In Hindi, Prachand means, in English, it means fierce, very aggressive. What is this? It is India's first indigenously designed and manufactured multi-role light attack helicopter developed by HAL to operate where? Where will Prachand operate? Where will Prachand operate? Prachand will operate in high altitude areas like Himalaya. Remember Siachen. Remember Shucks Gum. Yes? Atulya means unparalleled, something you can't compare with. Yes? So Prachand will fly at high altitude regions like Himalaya. It has the capacity, fierce means very strong, very committed, very aggressive. It will be having the capacity to operate at 6,500 meters above the Earth's surface. And it has demonstrated by doing successful landing in the Siachen Glacier, highest battlefield from where India monitors China. Siachen was in the news because of Shaksgam Valley, which Pakistan had gifted to China. But India says, why are you gifting? It belongs to me. And China was trying to claim it recently. Now, President Miss Draupadi Murmu has done a short trip on that to judge its combat capability, operational preparedness, and precision targeting. Why is it significant? It gives a very good sign that in India, executive and legislative leaders are also fully supporting and participating and showing trust in Indian manufactured equipment. It is significant because it shows confidence in India's indigenous defense production. Now look at the data, it's not in the article. I'm just mentioning this from outside. According to Global Firework Power Index, India ranks 4th in the world when it comes to total helicopter strength, with a fleet of about 899 helicopters, out of which 674 are already ready to be used in combat missions. Highlights the growing strength of Indian armed forces, demonstrates political leadership engagement with India's defense forces. Now, another very interesting thing is happening side by side. As Miss Murmu, as our honorable president is doing this sortie, there is an exercise that's being held in India, and this is known as Vayu Shakti. What is Vayu? Air. What is Shakti? Power. Air power exercise. Vayu Shakti exercise 2026. It is being conducted by the Indian Air Force at Pokhran. Over 130 aircraft will be participating here. Example, big ones like Rafale, Su-30, Mk1, Mirage 2000. All these will see a participation in Vayu Shakti exercise to show precision airstrike. India's missile systems like Akash and Spider will also participate. We will do joint operations with Indian Army, and we will also demonstrate day and night attack capability. We can also attack during the dark hours of the night. That's it. Let's remember. And before we go to the quiz, okay, this is the photo. This is the image of your Prahar. Helicopter Prahar. Next, before we go to the quiz, very good. Vikash is talking of Sudarshan Chakra. Okay. Quickly, Indian Navy now. Again, GS Paper 3, Science, Technology, Defense, Military. What has happened? In this article, we are looking at INS Anjadeep. Quickly, in one line. INS Anjadeep. What is going on? The Indian Navy has commissioned INS Anjadeep at not exactly Spider. We are looking at Spider. We are looking at missile system, Akash and Spider. Okay, all right. Let's quickly proceed. What happens now? Indian Navy has done something. What? Very good, Shakti. Indian Navy has commissioned its fourth indigenously built anti-submarine warfare shallow water craft known as INS Anjadeep in Chennai. If this is the fourth, which are the previous three ones? If this is the fourth, which are the previous three? We have spoken in the news about INS Arnala. We have spoken about INS Androth. We have spoken about INS Amini. Let's not forget Androth, Arnala, Amini. This Anjadeep is the fourth one, AAAA. All these ships are a part of Arnala class ASW SWC series. Yes, why are they called ASW SWC? Because they are called anti-submarine warfare shallow water craft. Where will you find shallow water? Near your coastline. If you go in the deep sea, is the water shallow? It is very deep. So this will be operated immediately near the coast for coastal surveillance. Coastal surveillance. Surveillance in the immediate exclusive economic zone, very close to the coast, to support rescue operation, disaster management, proper surveillance. If there is an enemy submarine in the area, we will detect that. If there is a cyclone coming, at least we can make some predictive management, support rescue operation also, control oil spills also. All these are the intention. Who has commissioned? The Navy Chief, Dinesh K. Tripathi. And what is the role? Coastal anti-submarine warfare. Not deep sea, coastal anti-submarine warfare. Why are they special? Because they have very, very smart equipment. Modern shallow water sonar, light water torpedo, anti-submarine rocket, advanced combat management system. And why is it important? Because submarines are a major threat in modern navy. Major threat. They will help secure India's coastline, the shallow water and maritime interest. They are designed in India. Imagine the amount of employment we are generating, the self-sufficiency that we are demonstrating, the growth of our manufacturing ecosystem. Plus, it will also support shallow water combating, enhance more security for India's littoral island areas like Andaman, Lakshadweep. Yes, there is always a threat from nations like China, Myanmar. So what's the core understanding? It is about improving coastal defense and anti-submarine capacity. That's it for the day. But now let me throw some very, very quick questions on you. Let's quickly answer and then we end the session. Are you ready? Can I throw some questions on you as a part of our daily quick UPSC oral quiz? Once ready, let me know, bache. Very good, Vikash. Once ready, let me know. Okay, Satya says we can. So I'm presuming everyone is ready. So listen carefully and quickly answer my question. At the same time, remember what we discussed yesterday. First question, easy. Where is the Tigray area located? In which country will you tell me is Tigray area located? I just want one country. Short answer. Tigray area. In the map, we have seen Tigray. In the map, we have seen Badmi. In the map, we have seen the border between two countries of Africa. Which country can we associate with Tigray? Quickly. Options. Somalia, Sudan, Eritrea, Ethiopia. Answer will be Ethiopia. So very well done, Ethiopia. We are talking about Ethiopia. We have discussed in detail the war between Ethiopia Eritrea. We have seen the area of Tigray and Badmi in the map. The Pretoria Peace Treaty, very, very, very good, Terukula. So remember Ethiopia. Ethiopia. Okay. Second, there is a mountain range. It is known as quite a tall mountain range, and the name of this famous mountain range is Pico Turquino. Pico Turquino. Pico Turquino. Can you please tell me in which country is this known as the highest mountain range? Quickly. Pico Turquino. No Googling, no chat GPT, and no falling for names. Turquino means Turkey. I don't want that kind of argument. Somebody says Turquino means Turkey. No. Who answered? Vineet. Wow. Very, very, very good, Viterukula. Vineet. Shlok. Cuba. Cuba. The very famous mountain. Shakti, Vikash, AB, Satya. Very good. Yeah. That is what I was worried. Because I know UPSC will give the Turkey as an option. Now, those who will match the following in the form of names or homophones will say Turkey. No. Pico Turquino, highest mountain in Cuba. Why was Cuba in the news? Once upon a time, Cuba used to be called as the sugar bowl of the world, but today no more. Because of narcotic terror and internal conflict, Cuba has completely failed its sugar supply chain. Today, Cuba is a country that was blindly depending on Venezuela for all the oil supply, but recently President Trump has created a major threat in this area. And owing to the threat, perhaps he might also do more capturing of Cuba. Cuba was also in the news because of very good 1962 missile crisis. And we know that the crisis was a proxy war between Soviet and US. Very good. Today, Cuba is under threat. Cuba has been totally rejected and it is isolated, suffering a lot of poverty and economic downturn. Okay. Third question. There is a volcano again. There is a volcano in the news which is referred to as, it's a very difficult name. It's referred to as Yushevskaya volcano. Yushevskaya volcano. Let me write down the name for more clarity. It starts with K, but the KL is silent here, as most names are from this region. Yushevskaya volcano. I can give you a hint here. This is a stratovolcano. In which area of the world will you find this volcano? Ethiopia, Mongolia, Syria, Kamchatka, Russia, or Hawaii? Yes. Where is this volcano? Very good. Russia. This area comes from Kamchatka. Kamchatka is a Slavic Russian name, and these are such tongue twisters. Honestly, you got to read them 1,000 times to even pronounce them. Like even Chennai, Vladivostok. Like you really need your brains to be up. Vladivostok, I mean, come on. Half words are silent in this language. It's tough for us. Okay, so this volcano here, the Yuchevskaya volcano, it comes from the Kamchatka Peninsula, Russia. Very good. And do remember, Kamchatka is a very, very seismic prone region. It lies in the Ring of Fire area. Okay, so let's remember. Now, quickly, one of the last questions for the day. One of the last questions, second last question. Okay. Which is the only sea in the world? I repeat, which is the only sea in the world that does not have any land boundaries? Which is the only sea in the world which does not have any land boundaries? In fact, it is only having a boundary in the form of ocean currents. Which sea is that? The only sea in the world which has no land boundary? No. It only has ocean currents as its boundary. Vineet, very good. The Sargasso Sea, very, very good. Caspian has a boundary, bache. Sargasso Sea. Today I'm making a current affairs video on this sea and I'll host it on the channel shortly in the afternoon. Sargasso Sea. Sargasso Sea is a sea that's located in such a strategic weird position in the North Atlantic region. It also is very close to the Bermuda Triangle, the Mysterian area. Yuvraj is sounding so shocked. Yes. In the mysterious Bermuda Triangle area, it's called Sargasso Sea. Sargasso is a sea which has no land boundary, bache. It is surrounded by ocean currents. That's why people say it is located in a gyre. Gyre means an area that has currents from all the side in anti-clock direction, no land boundary. Okay, Sargasso Sea. And why do you call it Sargasso? Because it is characterized by a green algae. It is always covered in some kind of a green moss or algae called Sargasso, North Atlantic, middle of it. Very good. I'll show you the map in the afternoon. Okay, that was really sweet comment by Yuvraj. He was so shocked. So sweet. Okay. The last question for the day. The last question for the day is, which is one of the largest refugee camps in Africa? One of the largest refugee camps in Africa. It's the largest refugee camp in Africa and one of the largest refugee camps in the whole world. Established in 1991, and it mainly is a home to refugees coming from Somalia. Most of the refugees that come from the Horn of Africa, Somalia, go to this camp. It was established in 1991, the largest in Africa, one of the largest in the world. Located almost in the boundary of two countries. One is Somalia, but which is this camp and which is the other country? Very good. The camp is known as, what is it known as? Dadaab refugee camp. Very, very good. No problem. Dadaab refugee camp. Largest in Africa, 1991. Absolutely correct, Kojumba, on the boundaries of, absolutely Vikash, Kenya and Somalia. All the refugees who are hit by Somalian war have found a refuge in this camp called Dadaab. It's a cross boundary between Kenya and Somalia, one of the largest in the world. Horrible conditions, lots of civil violence. Shows the lack of humanitarian efforts in the region. That's it from my side today. Quite interesting. Tomorrow we'll do another, not tomorrow. Monday we'll do another short quiz. This time we'll bring a new topic. Okay? Okay? All right. Thank you so much for lovely participation, curiosity, inquisitiveness, and for the lovely, lovely session. Such a awaited moment for me in the morning. All because of you. Thank you so much. God bless you. Lots of love to you. Lots of blessings from my side. Lots of success in life. Do remember, we are having the Holi Hangama sale at flat 50%, 55% off. All our 27 and 28 courses are available right now. So anybody who wants to take professional guidance, anybody who wants to enroll in classes, do let them know. Please spread the word for us so that maximum people can enroll, because prices are very affordable right now. And do tell them that if they use code SPLIVE, then above 55 more discount is possible. I'm sure it's a short-term offer. So that's why please try to spread the word. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'll see you on Monday now. And we'll have another very exciting session. Okay, take very good care of yourself. Very little screen time, no Instagram reels, no YouTube shorts. Protect your memory. Take care of your grey cells. Read books. Watch good documentaries. Wishing a very happy festival to everyone. And I hope each of you meets me